All right, is everybody ready? I think I'm finally ready.
Yeah.
Yo, what is up, everybody? Episode 21 of the Columbus DJ Podcast. I'm here with DJ Corrupt, EGOTRONIC, and DSAVES. Great episode for you. We got, you may not know these guys like off the top, but it's like one of those if you know people type deal, like especially if you're in the techno community or if you're going out now. I mean, BBR, Dahlia are some of the places that are doing really well in the pandemic, and that's where DSAVES is. And like I said, if you like techno, you definitely know Basilio. But first I want to talk to my co-host. What's going on, James? How you feeling, bro?
Dude, I'm good. I really like this episode. We got two different like genres, two different scenes. So it's gonna be fun to get different opinions here.
I'm big excited. Thank you for having us. Really, truly
thanks.
Honored.
It's not that important, DSAVES. I know you're a young guy.
I'm not kidding you.
But
It's big time. This is big time. I'm not kidding.
We appreciate you guys doing it, man.
Absolutely, dude. So good conversations. I learned something from everybody who's on here. So, Basilio, you've been around longer. I want to let you go first, man. Tell us who you are, what you do, and all that.
Yeah, my name is Basilio. Go by EGOTRONIC. I've been in the community for since 2008, DJing since 2010. I had my own show at, I think it was at Scarlet and Gray for a while, but then that closed and moved it to Shrunken Head. And then ended up at Bossy Girl. It was called Freak. We did a multi-genre everything. I did that for about 6 years. And it's just really fun party. And I mostly play techno music. So,
You've worked with MBFP, right? I feel like
I've been on a couple of their shows too, and helped them get some people.
Okay.
I believe Rob DeLarge and Heavy Grinder were the ones that I helped get in there.
So I got to go to Scarlet and Gray and Bossy Girls. You had me play Bossy Girls one time, so thank you for that.
Yeah.
But I never got to check out Shrunken Head. I know where it is. I know the spot, but tell us about the vibe there, because I know that's probably where you had the most success. Is that true?
I think so, yeah. It had a nice, really, it's got a nice stage there, and the sound there is really, really good. And it had a cool little back patio area too. Nice big dance floor. It's mostly a metal bar, which is pretty cool, which is my other kind of thing that I like to do. Very big venue, very nice. They don't do many dance events anymore, mostly just like comedy, karaoke, and metal shows. But, yeah.
And then I want to ask you about the shirt that you have on, because I think any DJ, if you don't know what Midwest Fresh is, you should. That's the only thing, that's the only underground party that I know that's going on right now. And for those, people are on here all the time, Corrupt, talking about, we missed the old days, we missed the warehouse rage, we missed this and that. And I think Midwest Fresh is the closest you get to that, man. I mean, you're there all the time. Talk about Midwest Fresh and maybe what it means for the city.
Well, Midwest Fresh is not around anymore.
No!
Dang it, Mike! You hyped it up
all the time, man. I do.
Yeah, they dissolved about sometime last year. So,
so I'm not too late. Okay.
No, I'm not too late. Yeah, it's kind of dissolved out. But yeah, it was the underground go-to party. Went from 10 to 6. You had to RSVP to get in. It was BYOB. They had a disco room, lots of cool lights, security. Very safe, very fun space. By far one of my favorite parties in the city, and I was very lucky to be able to help them bring people in, get people introduced, and even help with their flyers and T-shirt designs too. So very cool party. I'm sad to see it go, but we might see something like it come back.
I was going to say, I feel like we need something.
Dude, I think, man, I'm
hinting at something?
Dude, those underground non-exclusive things are going to happen, man. They're going to come back because people are tired of the same old right now.
Yeah.
The two things I loved about Midwest Fresh was, one, it was a big community event. You could go by yourself after a show, and then you meet up with this DJ who you haven't seen in a minute, or this DJ, because we're all working, we don't get to see each other in our spots, but that was a place for you to go kick it, hang out, listen to some dope tunes. And then I had always heard about the old school raves, there was always the disco room, there's always disco room, and I feel like that was lost at parties. And I remember after wandering around for a while, being getting ready to go home, and just hearing music from another room and being like, what the hell is this? And I was like, holy shit, it's a disco. I'm in a real rave. But that might have just been me. So I was doing some shopping on your site, Basilio. Talk about your design work too, man, because I think people might want like that shirt or some of the other cool ones that are on there.
Oh yeah, so I basically make a lot of shirts for, it's like rave culture. So a lot of throwbacks to like 90s rave shirts and, you know, mostly just electronic music in general. So a lot of glitchy effects, call outs to techno music, just high vibrating colors and, you know, just weird designs, stuff like that.
That's awesome. Do you have a separate like design website or page?
Yeah, it's on a website called Design by Humans, and my store is called Cerebral Fusion. I think Mike has the link for it, so we can give people that so they can take a look, see if they want to get some stuff.
I'm going to throw that link up there, James. If when Basilio's done, if you want to switch over to DSAVES, that'd be dope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. DSAVES, give us a little bit of rundown of how you got started and where we can find you.
Well, I've probably been DJing now for about 2 years. I started in the summer of 2018, like late summer. My friend was at a music school at the time, and he like did music production. And one of his friends like gave him I don't know if you know the Newmark mix track. It's like probably this big.
No, I know it.
Yeah, the Newmark mix track, and he gave it to my friend to like just try and mess around with. And my friend was like, you know, you can try it if you want, because I always used to like playing music on the aux and stuff like that. I was super big music head, always listening to the new stuff, and it went from there. I just started sitting in his room, you know, an hour turned into 2 hours, turned into like 6 hours, turned into like 2 weeks of me just like figuring out how to just use like the simplest form of a board. And then it just kind of stemmed from there. I did a couple house parties for some of my friends. And I would say, I think it was May of 2019. It was right after I'd turned 21. I decided to like try and get my first gig over at the New Ugly Tuna down there off of Chittenden. Mm-hmm. And I lived like right off of 13th. So I was like, hey, like they just opened, who knows like what their entertainment's looking like now. I just walked.
How is that?
They've been doing pretty good. Like it used to be like a little like dive bar, and I know they downsized for certain reasons, but it was just it became this kind of like hole in the wall spot where they're like the drink deals were unbeatable. I mean, from 7 to 10, you get dollar wells, dollar bombs.
Yeah.
I don't know any place that has a cheaper drink deal. And that was literally every single day of the week.
Not since I was in college.
Right. So I was it was going into my senior year at the time. I was like, you know, maybe I have a shot at this. Why not? I walked in off the street and just kind of like knocked on the door when they were closed, and the manager opened up, and I just kind of gave my spiel on what, you know, he wanted from me, and he gave me a shot for that following Friday for free. And like, it was the summertime, so everybody had left, but it was kind of like a good time to like learn how to DJ in a bar. And that first time I met a good friend of both of yours, DJ Leak.
Of course.
And he kind of, you know, instilled this confidence in me that night that I still carry to this day, where, you know, if you just have that energy and keep that confidence in yourself, like you can keep doing, you know, consistent work. And I really there wasn't much spoken after that. They just said, you know, we'll have you next week. And I ended up playing there every Friday for like 6 months straight after that. And I mean, I wasn't a resident, but I kind of was. And that's really where I started at. And I carried that up until COVID time, up until then. And then they haven't really reached out to me because, you know, they're so small.
Yeah, it's tough right now.
Yeah. You know,
that DJ Leak is pretty inspirational, wouldn't you say, Karat?
Oh yeah, man. Especially ever since he got back from Arizona, was it right?
Yep, Arizona.
Yeah, he came back with like a lot of motivation and just wanting to, you know, make a bigger impact. You know, a lot of like mental positivity. I'm a huge fan of his Just Breathe project.
Oh my gosh,
And
I met so many amazing people through that.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I love Leak. I think he's got a good thing going here, and if he's giving you advice, that's awesome. Um, and I would say the same thing. I think confidence and just networking within the industry is huge. I'm sure it is for techno too,
Yep.
right? Like just you all stick together because you want to see your industry grow. Obviously, there are some competition to getting gigs, but I think now more than ever, it's more important that all the DJs reconnect and be close
Yeah,
because when things are great, there's plenty of venues and there's plenty of opportunity. We'll get back there.
Yep, and then with the kind of way it's evolved, where like it's not just one person for a whole night. You could have up to 4 DJs, people filling in. I mean, a lot of the stuff I get both mobile and club is from other DJs. It's not from the bar owners hitting me up. So like everything Krupp said, just keep networking and doing that stuff. But DSAVES, I mean, for only 2 years, man, you're playing out an awful lot, dude. Like, is there like a method to the madness within your marketing, or you've just been getting shots from people, or what do you think's been going on?
Honestly, like I said, up until Tuna, like before quarantine, I was, besides like Leak and then my other homie Carter that used to DJ after me at Tuna, I really was never like exposed to a lot of DJs. Like I didn't have the routes accessible, to like reach out to a bunch of people because I was still, up and coming. And I was also in school. So at that time, DJing was more of just something I was really enjoying while I was like in school. And I think after quarantine, or like when it kind of started, I was like, man, what am I going to do? And one of my friends, Mike Brown, reached out and he put me on a live stream. And at that live stream, I was able to meet so many amazing DJs. And I just like, it snowballed from there. We all just became friends through it. And we all started just hanging out beyond DJing. And then from there, everybody's like, hey, you want to come to this? You want to come play here? You want to help me with this? All that kind of stuff. And it really grew into a friendship. And then with those friendships, I just ended up making all of their friends my friends too, because they were just so like such amazing people and treated me so well, honestly.
And then how'd you get linked up with Peerless and Dahlia and BBR?
That was through like Pyro and then Super Joey. I ended up we did the live streams, and that's how I met Pyro and like Reckless and a bunch of other people. And then I went to Pyro's birthday party he threw at an Airbnb in Ashland, and Joey was there. And we were just all kind of hanging out that whole weekend together. And it wasn't really about me DJing for them, but I ended up doing that because there was like 7 or 8 DJs there. But it was really about me just, creating like bonds and connections. And then, just kind of gradually showing them what I can do, so to speak.
Cool. Krupp, you got anything more for DSAVES before we kind of hop into like a little group chat?
No, just to go back on what I was talking about with BBR, like it's kind of cool what you guys have out there on a Sunday. It's chill, but everybody's kind of like, a tight niche. Everyone's just vibing. Like you're surrounded by your friends. So I feel like that's a really good thing for you right now, because that's that experience and comfortability that's going to help you moving forward.
And I want like everybody to feel like they can come up to me at any time and introduce themselves to me, and I can be that same friend back to them. I like to give off that energy. And that's kind of how I want people to like think about my music, is like, it's like I'm looking at you while I'm playing the song because I know you're going to like it type stuff.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
I feel like the service industry that used to be a thing where like, you just knew on a Sunday you were going to XYZ bar and you'd see all the DJs, all the bartenders, this, that, the other. And I feel like that's died a lot. I wish we had like, a couple places we could go and do that. I feel like Fireproof is kind of the thing for Peerless. But would you guys say that like Sunday at BBR is like the last service industry night, unless, someone wants to tell me in the chat something else, but I feel like that's like the last one.
I kind of like that Sunday night because, everybody still has their big weekends, and it's almost like the last stand before you start the next week. So it's almost like you want to end on a good note. And that's what I kind of like about doing the Sunday nights now, especially when like we close at 11 and it's still like decently packed.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, oh, we just had a good night tonight. I can go home and actually chill out and then just start start the week off on a good note.
Yep. James, before you got here, we were talking about the different softwares that we use. And I think we have all 4 represented here.
Oh, really?
We have
Nice.
Corrupt on USBs / Rekordbox. We got DSAVES on Virtual DJ, EGOTRONIC on Tractor, and then me kind of as my focus being Serato. So maybe we can just kind of use this time to like talk about what we liked, what your favorite feature and maybe the least favorite feature about the software in comparison to the others. DSAVES, you were mentioning what you liked about Virtual DJ. Why don't you say that again? And we just lost EGOTRONIC, but we'll get him back.
So what I liked most, I can't remember why I started with Virtual DJ for the life of me. I think it was just, I'm pretty sure
it was easy to get.
Yeah, I think I just typed in DJ software and that was the first thing that popped up. And I was like, all right, hey, let's try it, But what I really liked about it, as I was talking with Mike earlier, was the one thing, because I've started playing with, Rekordbox and doing the flash drive and the CDJs and RX2s and stuff. But one thing I've always liked is the BPM transitions. So like I was talking about the extreme BPMs transitions, well, it can go with either, it can go from 1 BPM to 15 to like 40, but all I have to do is press a button on my laptop and both of the songs will immediately start to link BPMs. So I don't have to mess with the BPMs before I play a song.
You're on the mic too, and you're trying to be social, and you're moving around a lot. So I think it works for you really well.
Yeah, I do, and it's nice because then I just loop, a start of a song or a beat while it's gradually transitioning, and then you end up starting to hear the other song more as it kind of like switches in that tempo that you're used to for the other song.
That is kind of cool because you would need to obviously use both hands to just do the transition.
Exactly.
So being able to hit that one button and be able to do like a filter or volume or stuff like that, that's really dope. I think I didn't even know that Virtual DJ could do that.
Super, super underrated. And that's really like, I want to get rid of it. I am looking to get another board and get on Serato and then keep my Rekordbox going. But it's that one.
It's probably changed too since we knew what it. We checked it out.
Big time, yeah. They just did a big rebrand. I want to say in 2020, like right at the beginning of the year, if not the end of 2019.
Yeah, from like 2019 to 2020, it was a whole like revamp of it. It looks a lot more like Serato now, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, and then they're compatible with everything, which I mean I would say is like the best part about them is no matter what you use board wise, like Virtual DJ will be compatible. Well, of course not with the Pioneer CDJs. Pioneer's much not on that, but everything else.
Basically everything besides the Pioneer stuff. Maybe the SX2 works. I'm not sure. I haven't tried it. But like at that point, I would just get Serato though.
Mike, you can go ahead if you want.
Yeah. So for Serato, I just think the design is really dope. The way you're able to get I know Corrupt, you like the library in Serato. I actually use my library on iTunes, but I like that Serato imports iTunes really, really cleanly to their library. And then just the amount of controllers and compatibility, I think is just the big thing for me. And they kind of cater to like the performance style DJ. So I'd say those are like the big ones for Serato. One thing I would love for Serato to get is the countdown timer that Rekordbox has. So if you put like the cue points in, it'll count down the bars until the next drop or until the next cue point. And man, when I'm playing like my techno or my tech house sets and I, maybe haven't been playing a song I haven't like really listened to like a lot of the other ones, it's really nice to have that little countdown timer to the next cue point. So like when I'm doing my filtering, my effects, I know exactly what to pull them out. Cause sometimes they'll trick you, man. Like especially some of those Fisher tracks, it'll go to where it's supposed to drop in and then you'll get that one last that, and then the bass will come in. So.
Do you always I know you're a turntable guy. Mm-hmm. Do you typically always use turntables?
Nah, man. like, so turntables I use probably the least amount now, just because like that's only in my practice studio where I use them. But I have the Rain 12s, which are turntable-esque, and I really like those. So that's, if I have the choice of playing on something, that's what I'll use. So they're turntable-esque, but not, you know, anyone watching on and will probably yell at me if I say they're just like turntables. So I was back off. Basilio lost power, but I think he's trying to get on to Zoom through his phone. So Karat, tell us about USBs, man. Some of your favorite things and stuff you wish you could change.
I would say, for one, Serato has unbeatable features. Rekordbox is amazing for preparation and organization of music in the library, but I mean, I still think if you can do a USB, the convenience and the versatility of playing anywhere at any point at any time is unbeatable. When I first switched from Serato to USB, you know, the first thing I did was challenge myself to learn how to do an open format set with a USB, which is the biggest challenge of using a USB, because you can play a catered house show or anything like that and stay in the same tempo and stuff. But when you're going all over the place, that's where people struggle. And the secret is having your playlists organized exactly, you know, where every song is, and because you only have, you know, 10, 15, 20 seconds to find those tracks. And welcome back, bro. And so, you know, and then another thing is your USB collects histories. And it's important that you play on updated CDJ so you can load your settings. So when you are looking for a track, it loads quicker and doesn't have a delay. Otherwise, there is nothing good about using a USB, and you're sitting there waiting for it. It just says loading track. But I'm so used to it now that I wouldn't go back. But I do think that there's if new CDJs come out, there's a lot of different things that they should do to make the USB more durable and make the errors less errors. There's a lot of like USB errors. A lot of different brands of USB still aren't working when certain CDJs.
Sure.
So they can fix that, I think. But yeah.
So to kind of add to that, if I had looked at CDJs before quarantine, I would have never even attempted at all. And being at Dahlia now, I've had to kind of adapt to that nature of using a flash drive and using a USB. And like you were saying, open format, I'm typically always open format. So most of my songs, like I try to make a list to where I can increase my tempo all the way from 70 to 150 without needing to do like a hard cut. So I always try and like keep a list of songs that I know can like transition like all the way through in a line. And I will say, using a USB now, I don't have to lug a bag around. I don't have to have a bunch of stuff with me. I literally keep it in a duffel bag or like a fanny pack or my pocket or something. And I just, somebody's like, you want a DJ? I'm like, yep. Pull that out, like it's ready to go. Like I really have been enjoying it. And it's a new kind of like technique to use, because it does take immense preparation. Like James, you were saying, like you really got to think about what you want before you put it in, because you can't take it out, you know, and put some more stuff on and then put it back in usually when you're playing a set. So
right. Before we get to Basilio's tractor input, I would also say, if you're going to use a USB, have a backup somewhere.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
It doesn't have to be like completely up to date, but like just have the ability, because you lose them. Sometimes they just get corrupted, no pun intended, like they just stop working. And then also, like, if you are trying to make your way to a USB, like, and there's a sync button available, it's okay to use sync. Like back in the day, I'd give you shit. I don't care anymore. Practice beat matching. Practice beat matching. But when you're actually at a show, if you need to use it, use it. There's one of the CDJs at Fireproof, the pitch doesn't work. So I have to sync to change the BPM every other song.
Oh my god!
But they're fixing it. They're on top of it.
Okay. I'm gonna call Petey. Be like, yo,
we need to get that Dahlia one fixed too while we're at it.
Oh, don't even get me started on that one.
Let's calm down. I've been asking for
come on,
play
bro.
the Dahlia for a long time, bro.
Bro, don't even get me started, man. That CDJ was one of those CDJs was at Sway when I started with the company like 8 years ago. So
hey,
I was gonna say it was there when I was like driving a car before I could drive a car.
Yeah, dude.
Bro, tell them how long it took to get the new monitor that you guys just got, like the beginning of this year.
For like the screen.
Still mad about that.
We don't need that negativity on this podcast.
Yeah, no,
go ahead.
We're
tell us about Tractor, man.
Oh man, I love Tractor. Me and Mike were talking about it earlier, and like as far as effects go, I think Tractor is probably the best.
Mm-hmm.
But I think in the techno community, a lot of people use Tractor, and it's just like our go-to thing. I don't know if you see like a lot of DJs. I mean, a lot of them use CDJs too, but it's like whenever I'm at home, I'll just load up Tractor on my MIDI controller, and then whenever I'm at clubs or playing out, I always bring a flash drive, and I would just do it that way. But my personal preference is definitely Tractor. I just like the layout. It's easy to load, keeps track of all my stuff really, really easy. I think the layout's a lot better than Serato too.
Beat grids are super nice. I know they do a lot.
They're super nice. Yeah.
Serato for sure.
Yeah. A lot of customization you can do on it.
I don't remember a ton about Tractor, but I remember there was some pretty cool effects that you could do and with certain control. Yeah, and then
the MIDI Fighter was a big one that DJ Tech Tools put out, and then you could like button mash different combinations on this little 16-button MIDI controller and get like crazy effects.
60 bucks.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, you remember Raveheart had that Corrupt. He showed he brought that to show and tell.
Yeah, that mini controller, and then aren't you able to put like 4 tracks going if you want?
Yeah,
like
you can do 4 tracks at once, and then you can also link it up to Ableton now too.
Oh wow!
Shit,
nice. It's really strong.
So like, if you were like pre-recording a set, would you run it through Ableton then? Like,
no, it has a recording option you can do internally. Nice. I can even hook up my my drum machine into my Tractor really easy too, and it syncs it up.
That's dope. And it uses the grid from Ableton?
Well, if I'm using Tractor and I want that to be mastered, then my drum machine would follow it.
Oh, that's dope. So
so you can pick and choose which is the master.
B-Funk said that Serato's built-in effects are kind of ass, but the Rain ones are pretty good. I agree with that.
Yep, 100%. We just mentioned it. Corrupt, why don't you take us into show and tell, man?
Yeah, guys. Basically, we just do this just to like get off topic a little bit. Something around you, around your place that is meaningful to you. Could be DJ, non-DJ related. We've had some pretty interesting shares. What is it? What episode is this?
21. 21.
Wow.
Cool. But like, yeah, Basilio, you're the veteran. What do you got for us, man?
Oh yeah, let me grab it here. Play a lot of fighting games.
Oh shit!
This is my
damn
Tekken stick.
You're capping over there, bro.
So,
that is sweet.
This is from 2008, but I modded it a bunch, and it's good on PS4, Xbox One, all that good stuff. It's got my character on it.
Nice.
You guys ever go to like Old North Arcade?
Yeah, Tekken 3 all day, man.
Oh yeah.
Man, that's crazy because like that's the only like fighting game I have no follow-up questions for because I was like Mortal Kombat, like all those ones are like Street Fighter. I'm sure Brandon, if Brandon's in that, I'm sure he'll have something to say about it.
Tekken's really nice. It's really casual. It's really good at high level too. So if anybody can pick it up and play it, there's a lot of characters that are really nice and easy to pick.
What Tekken are they on now? Like what's the
They're on 7 right now, but I think they have like 14 games.
B-Funk's going nuts over here about Tekken.
I know he was going nuts.
I'll play B-Funk in some Tekken.
We should do like we did the Columbus DJ dinner group for a long time. Maybe we just start like a gaming group.
The Columbus, I bet you'd be more attended than the dinner.
Count me in.
Next thing you know, we're all trying to be pro gamers and shit.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh, you're on your way, right, Krupp? You guys been doing some tournaments.
Hell no. I play with good players. Doesn't make me good.
DSAVES, what you got for us for show and tell, bud?
So it's my new good luck charm / birthday gift. I don't know if you guys can see it.
Nice.
This is my brother Alex. He passed away a couple years ago. Like I think it was 2017, May 1st. I got this for my birthday this year, and I swear it might be a good luck charm because I don't know. It's just like I always bring it out whenever I go out. And it just kind of brings like an extra energy with me and kind of keeps me, you know, like level-headed, so to speak. Basically, like
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I appreciate that though. Thank you.
That's really nice though, man. Was he older?
He was in my class, yeah.
Okay,
I've known him since like kindergarten.
Nice,
So
man.
like it was nice to, you know, be able to like do something for that. And it was actually really funny because we go over for his birthday in July, and like we go over to his mom's house and we just like, you know, have food, have a couple drinks, you know, talk, hang out, whatever, reminisce. And I was gonna surprise her with it and like show her that I got it. And she was like, yeah, that's funny. I love it, but I already saw it. And I was like, what? I was like, what? How do you like, what do you mean? And I guess somebody, like a couple people from social media ended up sending it to her before like I could surprise her, which I thought was amazing that it like made its way over to her without her having any idea how to use social media.
That's dope, man.
That is
man,
cool,
yeah.
man. It's inspiring.
I appreciate that. But yeah.
Basilio, I also want to know what you got behind you because you can't just be like,
I'm big interested.
Oh yeah, I can give you guys the tour. Hold on a second.
B-Funk said Tekken Tag Tournament, by the way.
No, Tekken Tag is trash, man. We got the Korg Electribe 2 sampler here. I got my Roland MX1 mixer. Can you guys see that? Yeah, there we go. I got my Novation monostation synthesizer.
Ooh.
I got my Roland TB3. Can you see that in there? So get some nice acid sounds in there. My Arturia Mini Brute 2S. A lot of cool stuff. Little modular patch bay there. And TR8, another drum machine, and my Drum Brute here, another drum machine.
I know some of those words.
Yeah.
That's a good setup, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to get another synth, I think, so.
Looks like some dead mouse shit.
Like a Korg
All analog, baby.
What
analog,
do you have music that we could find somewhere, like SoundCloud?
I don't really record any of it. I'll make like little clips on Instagram here and there, but I'm gonna get some recordings done here soon. So
nice, dude.
I have a
something
question,
that I'm proud of.
I don't know who told me this, but like when I was first starting out DJing, someone told me you're not going to be a real DJ. This is a silly thing to say, by the way, but he said you're not going to be a real DJ until you understand the difference between trance, house, and techno, which that's ridiculous. But like later in my DJ career, I was like, damn, they were kind of right a little bit. I knew what they were trying to say. Like obviously it's not like what becomes the real DJ, but I mean, even within techno, Basilio, there's so many like different types of genres. Like I don't even know. Like really, to me, it's like it's either techno, minimal techno, or weird techno. Could you kind of go through? Like I don't know any other ones. So like, can you kind of go break down like if you're a techno fan, you're kind of trying to establish like what kind of techno they like, how you might go about that? Because I know there's like acid, there's minimal, there's
acid's pretty easy to find out because it uses that Roland 303 on it, that little like high screechy like drippy sound. But mostly it just goes by BPM, I think, personally. Like if it's slower, industrial techno, it's usually like around 115, 120. Like Gesaffelstein's right around there. I think it goes sometimes a little bit lower. Minimal is around like 123, 125. And then as you get up higher, you get techno, like more of the Berlin techno is around 130. And then hard techno, which is increasingly higher and higher. It's at 145 now. I think some of the guys go like 150.
That's like the hard
style. They just get harder and faster. I don't know where they're gonna.
Can we get
like drum and bass?
Can we get a hard techno party immediately?
I've been trying.
You'll be tired.
Sponsored by Red Bull or something, dude.
I was
cocaine.
I was thinking about throwing a hard before the pandemic hit. And then,
How happy
but
would
it's
you
still
be
on
if
my,
we put it
it's on
together?
my to. Oh, dude,
Yeah.
I'd be so happy.
That'd be great.
I feel like you need
That's
like
my
people
thing.
passing out water. Like if people would just like come strapped with like
You gotta have a
belt of
camel pack,
water.
man.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Let me ask you this though before we get to another topic. What kind of story do you like to play with your techno? Like how many hours do you need to tell your story with techno? Because I know it's a whole story and to get to that high BPM, you gotta like start somewhere.
Dude, I just come out the gate running. I just start at 145 and then just go.
Damn.
You guys ready?
Like, let's just go, man.
I like it.
Yeah. I think last time I played at Laboom or a Scully show, Alex Gordon stopped at 128. I played one or two tracks at 135, and I ended up at 140.
Ready to go.
Riley Reckless asked, "What are some notable techno artists in the subgenres you named?"
Great question.
There's Viper Diva is a really good one. Who else? We got MRD, which was on my list of people that I was going to name.
This is hard techno, Basilio?
Yeah, hard techno.
Okay.
And Emily Lenz, I think everybody knows her. She's probably one of the most popular hard techno people. And Airrod, AIROD. He's a really good name in hard techno too.
Cool. And then what about like minimal or like club techno?
I haven't really been following that genre too much lately. I can't really think of anyone. My whole mindset's been hard techno for the last 6 or 7 months.
Like where would you put Carl Cox and like Jamie
Carl Cox?
Jones?
I think they're more like just housey techno, like tech house. Yeah.
I'm trying to think who are the other guys. Weiss, like Weiss at all, or
no?
Damn it, I'm in the pop techno game.
All right,
Yeah.
I want to hear
techno section.
I want to flip to hip hop because I know DSAVES plays a lot of hip hop. I'm a hip hop fan. DSAVES, I want to know some of your favorite hip hop artists.
Ooh, well, I think before DJing, my how far back could I go? My first 2 rap albums I ever listened to front to back were Blue Slide Park and Rolling Papers. So I have a special place in my heart for Wiz. It's kind of hard to play him at the club sometimes. And then Mac Miller is all time, probably top 3 for me, I would say. Mm-hmm. I try to fit him in as best as I can, either whether it's like Blue Slide Park or The Spins or like some of his newer stuff that's kind of like more like poppy upbeat. But right now, people like artists that I think go like hip hop artists that do well in the club would be like some Lil Baby songs, but like not the most recent stuff. Like, I don't know if you heard, I played like Freestyle. Like that was like the first song by Lil Baby where I was like, this dude's like got, some talent. And then Travis Scott, obviously, he's probably in my top 3 too. I don't have any specifics, but like rap songs that I personally like to play stem from like 2010 to probably 2017, 2018 range. Like The Life of Pablo stuff, Father Stretch My Hands, that Nothing Was the Same / Marvin's Room Drake, the Carter 3 Lil Wayne.
Oh yeah.
And that kind of stems to another topic another thing I wanted to talk about with like how I DJ, which is like I kind of go for this nostalgic familiarity feeling where it's like you hear it and you're like, when was the last time like you like think back to either a certain memory or like a certain time like you heard that like rap song that makes you like gives you like good feelings or a good memory from it. And I think that's kind of, it's not like it's nostalgic or a throwback necessarily, but it kind of hits on that tone almost. So that's kind of like rap. I don't really have a specific artist that I can think of off the top of my head though, because I like to keep the variety.
Yeah. I've definitely heard you mix it up really good.
Thank you.
Cool.
Young Thug though, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, anytime usually does well.
Young Thug and Travis Scott all day for sure.
we can kind of stay here for a minute. We usually do like a segment called Tastemakers where we kind of talk about what we've been listening to lately. So for me, it was 24 Karat Magic by Bruno Mars. Actually, I put that on earlier today.
That came on my aux today. That's crazy.
So
I was driving around for work.
Still a whole vibe.
Yeah, man, the whole album, straight fire, just great, like solid pop music. So that's I listened to that today and really liked it. On the new front, I haven't listened to any albums, but I'm curious to see what you guys have been listening to, especially you, Basilio.
Like I mentioned before, the MRD, he has a track called Like That. It came out on a compilation called Raw Summer. It's really, really good. I've just been playing that like nonstop. As far as what I'm really interested in, there's a new record label called Possession. Possession's a party that they have over in Europe that's just all hard techno. So they have a lot of releases coming out. They just put the pre-orders up on Bandcamp. So just to see a bunch of people on that are really, really nice. So
I have a question for you. So I'm in the camp where I have to be in a dark room, big sound system, lights going crazy for me to like really enjoy techno. But it sounds like you could just listen to it like, at brunch.
it's the second I get in my car, man. As soon as I go to work this morning, 6:30 in the morning, I was driving to work listening to the hard techno.
Yeah, I want to see what your resting heart
on
rate
my way
is,
home
bro.
too.
Just like going into work.
Let's see.
Right?
It's at 70 BPM
Impressive.
right now.
What you been listening to, DSAVES?
Right now, the one something new is the new Cal Scrooby.
Oh yeah, shout out to Cal.
Love Cal, yeah.
While you were sleeping.
Dude, what a talented guy.
Love
writer.
Love that. Yeah, and I actually saw him when he opened at the LC Pavilion for Kendrick Lamar when he did To Pimp a Butterfly, and he was out there opening for Kendrick, and I'm just like, who is this man? Like, what is going on? And he was like, yeah, I'm from Cincy, and I was just like, wow, shout out, and I've been a fan ever since.
Actually, I have a pretty interesting story on how I met Cal Scrooby. I was DJing a frat party. I want to say it was like Fiji, and this dude walked up and was like, hey man, like you're killing it. I'm a rapper. Like, you think I could do a couple songs? And I was like, and you guys know how that all goes, right? Like,
Right, yeah.
9 out of 10, that's never going to go well, right? So, I was like, hey, man, if, the president of the fraternities over here, if he says you can rap, you can rap, whatever. And guy talks to him, and I'm like, all right, cool. So I throw him a mic. He gives me his songs on a flash drive, I was like, okay, maybe this guy does know what he's doing.
Legit. If you do that, you're legit. You are legit. If you bring
I don't know. I think everyone's got a flash drive now, but back then it was like a
Okay, yeah, true. I did a rap show the other day, and not a single person bought their flash drive, and I was literally like DJing, like the show was supposed to start, and we were like 30 minutes into what the show was supposed to start, and everybody was coming up to me like, hey, can I email you like my music? I was like,
I feel like that's a lot of
like you're supposed to have that done by 5 today, bro. Like,
I mean, but yeah,
I brought my own DJ.
Exactly why we all laugh when someone says, hey, I'm a rapper. I want to play some. Like, we all just laugh. But anyway, so the president comes over. I'm like, hey, cool. It's out of my hands. I played his tracks, and dude killed it. And I was like, this guy might be the truth. And then, a few years later, I see him on a track with Chris Brown. And, to be honest, I haven't heard from him a lot since. But it's good to know that, he's still putting out music and doing well. Is he in L.A.?
I think he does some ghostwriting. He has to be, right?
Yeah. I would hope so. He's good.
If you listen to the new stuff, I mean, it is the lyrics and like the metaphors and his flow and wordplay are just, it's unbelievable. And like, it's coming from 2015, like that song with Chris Brown and stuff, you can just feel his like independence and like his growth at the same time, which is something I really like to listen to with an artist.
He may still do these, but he may not. I miss those Scrooby stacks that he used to do. He'd be like him in the back seat of a car, just like super, like, casual, and like you would freestyle and maybe do like a minute or a minute and a half. I used to love those. The Scrooby snacks.
I feel like he might still do those a couple times, but I feel like it's been more album pushing, ever since he kind of dropped that. But
rightfully so.
I do remember that phase, and it was like he'd go over like a beat that was popping at the time or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Corrupt, what you been listening to, man? I know you got a couple genres for us usually.
Yeah, I was also gonna say like always have your visuals on a USB too,
Mhm.
because like if you're coming into a club, because I've had DJs be like, can't you just like go to my Dropbox? Like, no, we are open. We're
Yeah.
this computer that Peter works on is ancient. Like, so like you just always have your visuals on like a third USB. But yeah. So for house ish, I really like how all these DJs are doing the covers. I mean, I don't know how they're getting away with it. I don't know how the rights work, but like Dom Diablo did the Mr. Brightside,
Yep.
which is sweet. And then my favorite is Rehab did the Smells Like Teen Spirit cover.
Ooh.
It's so good. I think it's Amber Shepherd is the vocalist, and she's like really, she's got a lot of bangers out. But and then for hip hop, no joke, I was headed to 1126 Sushi the other day, and Don Tolliver Cafeteria came on, and he's like, "Let me get the spiced yellowtail," and I was just like, "Oh, let's go!" And then the new Pop Smoke, what is it called? Mood Swings. Is that new?
Yeah, I think it's on his
I
album.
think, yeah, the new one.
I like it. It's good.
That whole album.
If you like Don Tolliver, he's got an album called Danny Womack, and it's like his first album on Apple Music, and I found that before like he got that song on Astro World and stuff. And I also am a huge fan of Don Tolliver too. Like that old stuff really, like, you can, if you listen to the new stuff and then the old stuff, you're like, damn, all right, he's been the truth for a second.
Great voice.
Egotronic, is there any pop music that you can tolerate? Is there any like pop artists that you're like, okay, it's actually somewhat decent?
No, I cannot listen to the radio. I don't listen to anything like that.
Dude, I don't have an aux in my car.
He wouldn't be a true techno guy if he said, yeah, actually, yeah, no. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I got forced into listening to the WAP the other day.
Yeah.
Oh.
You need the Gustavo sign remix of WAP. That'll
I was
Can you
listening to
sing
that.
it for us? Can you sing it for us?
I cannot recite any of that. I know there's something to do with like a mac and cheese in a pot. I think I remember that lyric there. Yeah.
Dude,
I don't remember.
be catching me driving, listening to that song.
Yeah, dude.
It's kind of one of those. I think we'd actually go to tips for listeners, guys. So, DSAVES, 2 years in the game. Basilio, someone that, what do you say, 2006 you started?
About 2006, yeah.
Yeah, so number of years in the game here. I want to go to DSAVES first, actually, and see kind of like in your 2 years, what's been most helpful, and then what would you give tips for listeners beyond that, like that you're working on now?
Tips for actual DJing wise, I would say just kind of know your music and understand rhythm almost. Like have a sense of rhythm and a good ear for music. And then for like actual being a DJ, I would say have the confidence to play what you want to play and remain, like, keep your integrity almost. And I don't want to say don't conform, because you do kind of have to conform because you're conforming to what the people want to hear. But at the same time, don't give in to every single thing that everybody wants to hear, because at the end of the day, you're doing it for yourself because you enjoy it and you enjoy like what you want to give to people. So I think if you like keep that confidence in yourself, then you can go a lot farther than you might think.
So we've definitely had someone say, I think IQ mentioned having rhythm, and then you started off by saying something I really liked. Oh, know your music. So I want you to elaborate on that a little bit more if you can. Like, what do you mean by know your music? Because I think, we all know what you mean, but maybe like listeners don't know what you actually mean by that.
So like when I started DJing, what really helped me when I first got that board was I never had an aux cord in my car. So I only used CDs. And for like a period of like 5 or 6 months, I was just burning CDs and songs I really liked that were good driving songs, songs I just enjoyed at the time onto CDs. And then when I got that board, all of those songs were downloaded like onto my computer and they weren't in my iTunes. So I could start using them. and I was already so familiar with what they were. Like, I can tell when the beat drops. I know when a certain like line comes in on a feature or things of that nature. So it was really easy for me to kind of flow with the music that I was already like known to and had enjoyed for some time.
Yo, 2 years in the game, Corrupt. Have we had anyone say that tip? And it's something basic, right? Something basic that everyone knows about. We all know about it, but no one said it. I love it, man. What do you think, Corrupt?
Yeah, I was gonna say he was informative with it. Like a lot of these DJs are just so bland with some of their tips for listeners. We love them all. We learn everything, but that was actually good for 2 years experience.
Oh, thank you so much. I mean,
yeah,
I mean that big time. And
that being said,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say this too. I like to say this when people come up to me. They're like, yo, I think I want to DJ or whatever. And I quote the line from a world famous movie, Ratatouille. They say, anyone can cook. I go, anyone can DJ. You just have to actually like instill that confidence in yourself, and you can do it, honestly.
I like it.
Now Disney's going to come after this for the podcast.
Copyright. We're going to get sued.
He said Ratatouille.
He's about to rap WAP to us, bro.
Although I think Basilio might have something to say about, playing what the crowd wants to hear, being true to yourself. I think you would say that too, right, EGOTRONIC?
Yeah, definitely just, play what you play. Don't let anyone tell you like you can't play that. I mean, obviously there's going to be times where like certain situations and certain crowds won't want to hear hard techno, like a wedding or something like that. So, I mean, know your audience, know the floor. And to take back what he said, I think he meant like phrasing. This phrasing of the songs is really important. So you know when to hit play, you know when your stuff's going to come up. And I feel like a lot of people don't do that. Another one would be EQing. A lot of people don't practice their EQing a lot. And that's a very, very important thing in my book. Making everything sound nice and smooth so you can't hear any interruptions in anything. I'm not one of those guys that used to likes to cut things real quick. I like long, steady transitions if ever possible. And practice. Record your mixes. Listen back to them like 100 times. I have recordings of mixes from 2006 that I still listen to, and I'm like, I thought they were amazing when I was doing it, and now I listen to them and I'm like, wow, I really messed up there.
That's a great point. That is like listening back to mixes, because I just will be at work just listening to it, and I'm like, okay, so I should start it here, or I should do a filter here, or I should let it ride for this much longer. And then so it just prepares you for when you're actually come up to that situation when you use the song again. That's great. Exactly.
Yeah, I think one of these days, Corrupt, someone's going to mention recording your mixes. I'm just going to like cry like live on the podcast, because that's the number one tip, man. You got, because it's the only way you're going to be your most critic, and you know how you want to sound. So I'm glad you mentioned that. If you can, I don't think anyone's mentioned your EQ tip. So especially in techno, you gotta have that done. So I think some people might hear, use your EQ and be like, oh, I use the low end to cut out the bass when I mix. Maybe talk about exactly what each range does and how you use it musically. Because I know you mean more than just the low end EQ. Yeah, I mean, obviously low end's going to be your like big bass, like your kicks and all that stuff. Usually vocals are around your mid-range. So if you have a lot of vocals in there, I mean, you kind of want to like play with it a little bit. So if you really want the vocals on this one to stay, like turn it up a little bit more as you're like fading it out. That way it kind of stays flowing into the new song. A lot of your hi-hats and stuff like that are going to be obviously your highs, but I feel like the mid-range is like the really nice sweet spot where you can make your transition sound really nice. Yeah, perfect, man.
On top of that, there's certain tracks that are mastered or certain bad quality of tracks, especially if you're doing open format DSAVES. Like, you never know what song ripped, where you just need to like turn down the bass a little bit live.
Oh my gosh.
So like just checking your levels and making like, man, if it sounds like shit out there, like they can't even enjoy what you're trying to do, type of thing.
Yeah, because that's what it kind of started with, like especially with the rap songs, because like you said with the hi-hats too, sometimes those things interrupt and it just does not.
And they're crazy all over the place too.
B-Funk says yes, EQing is like baking a cake and adding layers. I said, what kind of cake? He said, booty cake. So
that's facts.
That is facts. Miss DJ podcast, baby. Let's go.
Damn, there's a fudge joke in there somewhere. I just can't find it. I just can't find it right now.
Yeah, it's in the mix, man.
Hey. I want to move on to the flip, guys. Is there anything you want to ask DJ Corrupt or just topics that maybe we didn't cover that we gave you that you guys want to touch on? Or
oh yeah, I got a couple things.
What you got, DSAVES?
You can go, all right, let's see here. So I got some group questions and I got a couple individuals. Individuals or group
start
first?
With one and we'll see how we go.
All right, well, I'll start with this one first. All right, Corrupt, this is to you. Go to Warzone loadout.
Okay. I like this one a lot.
All right,
so first you got to run overkill on your first loadout because you're going to get that ghost loadout. You're not going to die. You get your loadout as soon as possible. I like a gun with a little bit of zoom, no recoil, aim up upper chest or head, it's over. Kilo. I go with the Kilo, the VLK scope. My secondary, I was running an MP5, but they nerfed it. So now I'm going to run the Origin with 5-watt laser, and you can hip fire all day, and it's like 2 shots and they're down. You get stopping power for that, it's over.
What's your lethal? C4?
Lethal. So I do C4, and I was doing stuns, but I started messing with gas grenades because I feel like people freak out when there's a gas grenade. They don't even know why. They just start running around. So like, throw that gas grenade.
All right, that's actually solid.
Yeah.
That's very solid. And then for AXCESS, so how long have you been, well, first off, how long have you been DJing for Ohio State at the Horseshoe?
I did 1 year before all this got shut down. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then I wanted to ask you, what's one song you've wanted to play like during a game, but you can't?
Ooh, to be honest, man, the stuff they want is far crazier than anything I would like think that Ohio State wants. Like I think I was telling you about this crap when I first started.
The players you're talking about, right?
Yeah, the players. So I'll kind of just, this may not answer the question, but I just wanted to talk about this. So when I first got the gig, I was like, hey, just kind of let me know from an appropriateness standpoint, like where we stand. And they were kind of like, okay, as long as it's clean, it's cool. And I'm like, we're in Ohio, so probably not. So I was like, hey, you know what? Maybe we could just do it this way. Have the players send me like a list of songs before the first game, and then I'll kind of review it, and we can go from there. He's like, okay, cool. And I wish I had the list of songs to show you, but like, you know, I play hip hop, you know, blah, blah, I rap Caviar, Get Turned on Spotify, whatever. Like I'd say 50% of the songs that they sent me, I didn't even know. And they didn't make clean versions of these songs. And B, even the clean versions, dude, like I was like, there's no way I'm playing this in front of 105,000 Ohioans. Never going to happen. So I emailed the dude back and I was like, hey man, you may want to review, and I think I sent like 4 or 5 songs. You may want to review these 4 or 5 songs. I don't think you really want me to play these. Now, if you tell me, hey, this is what the players want and this is what's going to help us win the game, I'll play them. But you may want to review these 4 or 5 songs. Even the clean versions, I think, are pretty crazy. And so he's like, nope, don't worry about it. We'll take care of it. And I was like, dude, you're going to have to give me like something written that says like, I told him to play these songs. It's that bad. And he's like, oh, okay. I get an email maybe 10 minutes later. He's like, do not play any of those songs. We trust you to make the call. I want you to play it for you. So really, I have the green light to play anything. And dude, I think I saved my DJ career by like kind of asking it. So what do I wish I could play there? I wish I could play
some house music.
Yeah, that'd be dope. I mean, I played Losing It, but that's pop house music. I wish I could play like a 90s jock jam set. and like no one would like care. They want like all
Dude,
new.
they don't do that anyway.
Nah, dude, they want like all the
Oh,
new hip hop when
man.
the players are on the field, and when the players are off the field, they want like what they call crowd songs. So it's just like either a big sing along or a classic rock.
Yeah, because I when I was at the games last year, because I was a senior, I had student tickets, and like I had known Leak, and I knew you guys had worked together and stuff, and I would listen. I'd be like, I wonder. I would just think to myself, I was like, I wonder if like he has to play these. Like, I wonder if he's just freestyling or if they're like, you need to play these songs.
No, dude, they really let me. I thought it would be like you were saying, but no, man, they really let me kind of have some freedom. And
That's
like the
really
only thing
nice.
they gave me were like, you know, this is like player stuff versus crowd stuff. Like the player songs, I really wouldn't. They wanted stuff from like the last 18 months.
You guys are gonna make me sad talking about college football, man.
Nah, dude, stop. My high school is playing this Friday.
They're talking about starting men's Ohio State basketball while football's not allowed to be played. So
Yeah, I don't.
I wish they would explain more. Like, have they come out with a statement that explains the reasoning behind it?
not yet, but Nebraska is suing them or whatever for the explanation. Like either resume the season or
Tell us.
give us why and who voted. Like who voted no. Anyway, what were we talking about?
Vasily, you got any topics you wanted to cover, man?
I mean, I can ask you guys, which do you prefer? Is it automatic or manual transmission?
Vehicle?
Yeah, vehicle. Cars.
Oh, automatic. I don't even know how to drive a stick. I'm dead in case if
What?
the zombie apocalypse ever hits.
If I could learn how to drive, I would. But
Dude, nothing beats stick shift after you learn it, man.
Exactly.
I had a 6-speed for a long time, Honda S2000. It's actually still at my parents' house, but that's once you hit that second or third gear, you can just accelerate. Now I want a Tesla though, so I don't know.
you don't even want to drive.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
Why do you ask, man?
Oh, I just prefer manual transmission. I feel like James said, like once you've driven one, it's hard to go back down to anything else. You feel like you should be doing something if you're driving automatic after you've driven a manual transmission.
Yeah, but man, how are you gonna stop at Wendy's and like eat? And
you
drive?
find a way. You learn how to like
You
You got
do
the
it.
knee up there. You do the knee. I can't. There, the knee.
I want to make. I want
I
to
do
make
the
an
knee.
analogy to that though. So that's kind of like how I feel about DJing. It's like if I hear somebody playing music on an aux, I'm like, damn, I wish I was mixing these tracks instead of just hearing that like split second of cut.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look at his setup in there. You think he's gonna drive an automatic? Look at that fucking
No,
thing.
dude.
Hell no.
Well, guys, if there's not any more topics you need to cover, I'm going to go over to ask you to promote yourselves. Where can people find you online? And then when this is all done, like, where can we find you in person?
Go ahead, Basilio.
Yeah, I'll go. Right now I'm just doing a mix series called Techno Kills. It's on Mixcloud. I'm on version 8 right now, so I'm about to do the recording for 9, hopefully soon, maybe tomorrow. And also clothes. I make a lot of clothes online on Designed by Humans. I think we can get you guys a link, but a lot of like rave attire, stuff like that. In the Facebook chat, yeah. So yeah, that's basically it. I'm not playing. I might be, yeah.
So what made you decide to go to Mixcloud over SoundCloud? Like, we need to talk about this
There's no
eventually.
limit on time.
Okay.
So I think SoundCloud limits you to 2 hours, right?
Unless you
Is
get
it?
the Pro, or unless
Unless
you
you
get
go
the pro
pro
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Mixcloud doesn't limit me, so
That's
I
actually
have
really
like
nice.
at least
Like, you should
15
do a
hours,
tutorial on SoundCloud versus Mixcloud. That'd be a good one. I think people would
I think
like.
that's more. I don't know if it's a tutorial. I think it's more of like a topic we could cover here. Like I'm thinking in my head as Basilio mentioned. I'm like, damn, we could have talked about that earlier.
Yeah, it's all good.
But yeah, I mean, the short of it is, it's the search function on Mixcloud, while not great, is infinitely better than SoundCloud, and it's a better platform for users. The only problem is all the or it's much better platform for creators, but the problem is all the users are on SoundCloud. So there's like the best thing for the creators is Mixcloud, but there's no user base. It's all creators. And then SoundCloud, there's a good amount of users, a good amount of consumers, but there's so many creators. And it's hard to find.
There's so much content on there, and it's a lot of like poor quality, and like the ads on it are just crazy. SoundCloud used to be like the go-to, and it was amazing, but I just kind of outgrown it. So,
Gotcha.
DSAVES?
So you can find me at David Savely on Twitter or DSAVES614 on Instagram. You can literally hit me up at any time. I will probably answer. I don't have anything else better to do. If you want to find me out DJing, I could be at Julep, Callahan's, BBR, Dahlia, your house party next door. So hopefully on some live streams soon. But yeah, other than that, I don't, just like I said, hit me up. Feel free to connect with me. My DMs are always open.
Ladies.
Yeah, I was going to say ladies. I was waiting for somebody else.
That's funny. I'm ashamed to say that we have no 614 releases. Not ashamed that the company 614. Oh, wait, Corrupt, please.
No, I got some information, though. The reason I'm wearing this shirt today is we have a 614 event getting planned at Dahlia, where we're going to start working with a lot of local clothing, but definitely them. And I want to blow this one up specifically because they have helped promo our podcast, and hopefully we can get all of our former guests out. I think that'd be a really good opportunity. So I'll get more information on that next episode, but I'm thinking it's going to be in 2 or 3 weeks.
That is dope, man. That's good news.
Yeah.
I was
See you there.
Yeah, it's going to be sweet.
That we didn't have anything.
And I think they're going all out on their end too. Like they're going to do something really special for ladies and stuff. So a lot of awesome information coming.
Yep. And again, if you released a mixtape or a track this week and you're like, they're not talking about it, DM Corrupt or I, there's a link in the YouTube where you can just go in there and like put the stuff that you're releasing and the date, and will show up on my feed, and we'll talk about it. But I know there's amazing producers and DJs out here releasing awesome mixtapes and tracks. We want to talk about them, guys, so do send them to us, because we do not like weeks where we can't promote anything.
Yes.
I think that's it for that. Again, if you are watching on YouTube, like the video, comment with anything that you think we could do better, or people you want to see have the show, questions you want us to ask especially, and then subscribe to the channel for gear reviews, discussions, tutorials, and everything DJing. DJ Corrupt, anything you want to say before we wrap up?
No, man. DSAVES, keep it up, man. I know you're young and you're motivated. Just keep it going. And Basilio, I'd love to hear some of your original production whenever you get to recording, man.
Yeah,
got a really dope setup.
Appreciate you.
Actually, we talked about doing a techno versus house party. I think that was on the Push podcast with Max. Yeah. So when we have the techno, the techno room, we definitely got to get EGOTRONIC on there.
100%.
Cool.
Guys, thank you so much for being on here. We love you, and take care. Be safe. Peace.
Appreciate y'all so much.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Peace.
See y'all soon.